automation, um, security orchestration, automation, and response. I'm not going to repeat the whole line again. I'm going to refer to it as SOAR from here on. Security orchestration, automation, and response. That will, when I keep repeating that, they'll throw this whole a live session into half an hour session, maybe an hour. So let's not do that. SOAR it is. So what is SOAR? SOAR refers to a collection. It's a collection of software solutions and tools that can allow an organization to streamline their security operations in main areas, three key areas, and basically they are threat and vulnerability management, incident response, and security operations automation. So those three areas, that's where it focuses on. So it's a basket of technologies. It refers to technologies that enable organizations to collect inputs, monitored by the security operations team. So it's to connect all the inputs together, get alerts from the SIEM system, for example, and other security technologies. And then incident analysis and triage can be performed by leveraging a combination of human and machine power. And more the shift is going towards AI and machine power like that. And that helps to define, prioritize, and drive standardized incident response activities. So SOAR tools allow an organization to define incident analysis and response procedures in a workflow format. Make it easier. Don't forget anything, basically. That's what it does. Let me show you what the critical capabilities look like. There we go. That's the whole hairball of the critical capabilities of SOAR in place. Now, I don't know if my browser wants to cooperate, but we'll see. We can zoom in a bit. It's a bit much that it's covering right now, so it might give me a bit of trouble. No, zooming in is good. So you can get an idea of everything that's in the critical capabilities, in the SOAR critical capabilities. The blue balls, they are the critical capabilities themselves. Connected to them are the orange balls, and the orange balls are the questions that you ask your management team or your personnel or your staff, like, hey, do we have that in place? Have we got that covered? To ensure that we are covering each and every area of it. And then there's other colored balls, and we'll come to them soon, and I'll show you what they are. Now, this is a whole lot to cover, and let's not overwhelm ourselves and zoom in on one thing, and that is the most important use case there is. Now, how do we know it's the most important use case? That's because we have prioritized each and every one of these critical capabilities in based on the frequency and adjacency of data that's in there in each and every one of the critical capabilities. Out on top comes this one: manage security information and event management SIEM systems, threat intelligence platforms, security automation and orchestration solutions. So that's the second one. Intrusion detection, fourth, and prevention systems, IDS and IPS. File integrity monitoring, data loss prevention, and other network and system monitoring tools. This gives you right away an overview of there's a lot you need to cover in SOAR. It's the orchestration of the whole machinery, basically. When I unclick it, when I click it and I open it up, you can instantly see it's a must-have. We have prioritized them into must-haves, should-haves, would-haves, should-haves, and maybes for later on. And these are the must-haves. This is one of the must-haves. If I double-click on it, won't do it now, we'll do it later. Then it'll open up the whole must-have area, all the criteria that are in there. An important question here to ask is, how effective is security awareness training for threat prevention? Is it actually used? Do we do security awareness training, and how effective is it? How do we know how effective it is? We can see here that it's related to security is an important word, and intrusion detection and prevention systems. That's where the subject that it relates to in relation to SOAR. I can double click on this one, and another one comes up. Make sure the investigator needs to understand forensic tools, develop SIEM queries and dashboards, develop and implement analytical models, review threat intelligence data, and understand and work with SOAR technologies. These are related to each other, and they're must-haves, and it's the highest priority that we have here in place. So this is the number one, but if I want to drill it down a little bit further, and I can find out what the 5 highest urgent and prioritized criteria are. Let's go and have a look at that one. And then this one will pop up as well, the one that we just saw. These are the 5 most important in, let me turn off my phone a bit. These are the 5 most important ones in SOAR to take care of critical capabilities. I won't read them out loud. You can read them yourself. I can zoom in and you can pause the video so you can have a look later on if you rewind the recording, because we're live now, so it's not much to rewind. But later on you can review it and you can have a look at it. Now, if I double click on each and every one of them, it'll open up how it's connected to the other ones, how it's connected to which priority, how it's connected to which question to ask in your management team and to your staff. And there we go. And this is what I find exciting. This gives me right away an idea and an overview. If I want to have a look at a SOAR solution or SOAR in general, what do I need to have in place in my organization? So if I look at the orange balls, and those are the ones that always intrigue me, they're the questions I need to ask of my team, of my personnel, of my management, higher up and lower down. Does the solution include IDS, IPS, or does it, let me zoom in, or does it leverage existing customer deployments? Good question to ask if I want to take care of this area here. Does a SIEM have the ability to add threat intelligence gleaned from investigations to inform future detection? All right, makes perfect sense. Let's go further down. Let's see here. Can security be inherited from source systems where applicable? Yeah. And here, what if a cybersecurity attack shuts down your ports? Well, administer and maintain security systems in the Cybersecurity Operations Center, CSOC, technology stack, including SIEM. Here we go again, and the whole list, and there's even packet capture in here, and threat intelligence platforms. There's a lot we need to cover here. This is a term that I haven't seen before. File integrity monitoring. Haven't come across it before here in one of the critical capabilities. So it'll pop up with stuff that we need to focus on, and it surprises me myself as well. Like, hey, have you got this covered in your source solution? The other thing that I wanted to focus your attention on is the blue balls. The blue balls is here, the light blue balls. So this one is endpoint security. That's an important one in the source solution. Something that needs to be in front of mind when endpoint solutions are put in place is security. Basically, because those endpoints are far away from your main systems, you need to have a source solution in place to monitor them continuously and to protect and secure them. Now, if I double click on this, see what else comes up. Here's another one. Develop strong security posture in direct interaction with DevOps team deployment orchestration. That's interesting. DevOps, I'm going to zoom it in, that's why. With DevOps team, deployment, orchestration, automation, and security configuration management. Obviously, because the DevOps team rolls out in continuous improvement, software updates, and releases towards those endpoints. So that's why endpoint security is built in DevOps, and I would rather call that DevSecOps by shifting security left. I would rather call it DevSecOps to have endpoint security built in your source solutions here. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. So this gives you an overview of what you actually can cover right away. I'm going to click one more, security orchestration. Oh, all right, there we go. Security orchestration. There's a lot that is covered in there, obviously, because our topic is SOAR, security, orchestration, automation, response. Now, let me go to the next topic that I want to show you. This is an interesting overview of all the criterion. I've limited to 100. The whole critical capabilities has close to 2,500, 2,400 something in there, critical capabilities. And these are the top 100 that are of most importance in the critical capabilities Kanban and in this knowledge graph. What we see here are the big blue balls again. The big blue balls are the critical capabilities, and they've got the questions attached to them that are of importance to this area. Ensure your team is involved. I'm just going to read one out loud so you get an idea. Ensure your team is involved in SOC, NOC, TOC. Sounds like a TikTok song. Ensure your team is involved in SOC knock talk. I know what each and every one of these means. Threat intelligence and or managed security (MSS) operations. So the question is: does your security operation diagnose critical threats in real time? Because that's what we want. We don't want to just have to dive into logs and see what's been happening after the fact took place. We want to see in real time log analysis, what's going on right away. A live log analysis. So double click on this, see what comes up just for the fun of it. Here we go. Wait. I already see that I've created a problem for myself because now a lot pops up. Because the limit is 100. See? So this one is a must-have, the one that we just popped up, and it's related to security. Let's go back here. So we get a better overview. There's a limit. Let's actually limit it to like, what shall we do? 10? 5? Let's do 10. Let's limit it to 10 so you can have a look at what's going on here. There. This makes more sense to me. This is the top 10 of critical capabilities, criteria with their questions that you need to ask internally to your team to make sure that you have that in place. So start out by asking the question, what is incident response orchestration? And if the answer isn't quite clear in your organization, you can start out with, hey, why don't we ensure that our group, let's zoom in, why don't we ensure that our group is involved in threat intelligence, incident response, security orchestration, automation and response, SOAR, or another related cybersecurity field. And go like, my team now goes, that's interesting. Okay, well, let me tell you more. Let me tell you about, for instance, cyber fusion. That's an area that we need to look at here, and security in general. Cyber fusion and security in general. This will probably pop up a whole lot of things. So I can pick each and every other ball here and just start the conversation and keep the conversation going and add a question and insert a question to what I need to do, what I need to know. So the other thing that's necessary to understand when you're talking about SOAR solutions is how it's related to each and every other topic that it's related to. It's not just SOAR by itself is an orchestration of what you need to do to manage your cybersecurity well. So a SOAR solution typically consists of all these areas that are in place: cyber threat intelligence, cybersecurity maturity model certification, expert systems, security operations center, CCIE security. You want a lot of certifications in place, threat modeling, cyber defense, cybersecurity threat intelligence, cyber incident response plan, and the list goes on. SOC 2, big one. We see that coming up a lot. DevOps, IoT, that's the one we're going to be covering tomorrow. I'm really excited about that one because it's a hot topic right now. Event correlation, network security, security incident, cyber operations, and the list goes on. So these are all ransomware pops up. Very interesting. I'm going to click this one, see what comes up. Ransomware. Make sure your process is involved in security-related processes, SIEMs, sandboxes, endpoint protection, next generation firewalls, SOAR products, secure web gateways. All right. There we go. Double click. Our partner gateway applications and gateways performing to specifications. Yeah, interesting if I compare that to ransomware. If I in the light of ransomware. So this is I like this overview because it gives me a direct insight in these are the areas that we need to cover, and I can actually zoom in on each and every one, and out comes what we need to do, what we need to cover for our organization here. All right. Let's move on with another thing I wanted to show you is, as I said before, we've prioritized all the critical capabilities in here. So here we see the critical capability must have. So these are the ones that we actually must have in place, and the ones that are closer to the center are the ones with the highest priority, the higher priority. Let me zoom out like this. You can get an idea. And if I zoom in, I can again click on each and every one. Safeguard that your operation is responsible for improving the overall security posture for its internal customers by enhancing communication and automation between various security monitoring and alerting tools in the environment. And that's basically what SOAR is, what security automation is, to get all the inputs and make sure that the inputs are related to each other and you get a decent workflow and information coming out of it. The other thing that I wanted to, and I'm going there each and every time, is gonna show you if I'm interested in a certain area on a certain topic, what will pop up, certain question, what will pop up. How can this help me with answering a certain question that I have in my organization? So this is an important question that a lot of organizations have. The top one here: has your organization deployed technologies designed for security analytics and operations automation and orchestration? So I want to see now all the critical capabilities, the top 10 that are related to automation, because they'll help me and set me on my way. And now I need to fix this. They also help me and set me on my way to make sure that I've got all these areas covered. Here you go. These are the top 10. And I won't read them out loud again. I will just float over them so you can have a look at them, and later and you can rewatch it when the live session is finished. You can rewatch it and pause and take full advantage of what's in here. The interesting bit again is, for me, when I double click each and every one of them, they open up and I see all the relationships and the highlighted questions and the important areas that I need to cover when I need to take a look at automation in my organization. Make sure that I click them all. There we go. So the interesting areas here to cover are incident detection and prevention systems. There's one. Cloud Access Security Broker, there's one. Cyber Fusion, there's an area. Endpoint security pops up again because it was the highest priority there. And security orchestration SOAR by itself, obviously. So these are the areas that I need to cover, look into, when I want to dive into automation, security operations automation and orchestration. Now I'm really interested in intrusion detection and prevention systems. I don't know what's in here, so let's see what's there. There we go. We got another ball. We got another winner. Make sure the investigator needs to understand forensic tools. Let me zoom in. You can see it as well. Develop SIEM queries and dashboards. Develop and implement analytical models. Review threat intelligence data and understand and work with SOAR technologies. Intrusion detection and prevention systems. So this gives me a great overview. The whole area here that you see, of how everything's connected and to security, and they're all must-haves basically. See, drag it out. They're all must-haves here, and the questions that I can ask to my team to make sure that we are looking into automation for security analytics and operations automation. Let's do one more and copy and paste. Something I've prepared earlier. How do you improve your response process? How can I improve my response process? Well, obviously, I'm going to look for the use cases that have the word response in them. Let's go. Here we are. And zoom in. Ensure your team is involved in information security, incident response, and risk mitigation. Work directly with the SOC team to conduct incident response and event analysis using defined playbooks in the security orchestration and automation platform. So having SOAR in place means really thinking ahead in workflows and playbooks and what-if scenarios, worst-case scenarios, and cover as much as you can. So you need a lot of information sharing as well from external organizations, and a lot of information in place in your own organization that's related to SOAR. So let's just click each and every one and have a look at what's going on here. What I actually need to think about. I think I haven't clicked them all yet. I've clicked this one, clicked that one, haven't clicked you. There we go. You, and you. There we are. Now, response process. How to improve my response process? Let's simply start by asking some questions in my organization. Here one. This one. Do you measure your current sharing platforms, communities? What is incident response orchestration? What do we understand under incident response orchestration? Does the SOAR solution provide automated context to help us with our response? Excellent. Does your organization use automation orchestration to manage initial incident response? Does the platform enable quick proof of concept tests with standardized data ingestion and use cases? Wow. And this one's too big for the bulb, so I gotta open this up so I can read it. How can managed service providers, technology, and information security leaders within SMB markets build a program that can quickly recapture costs and poor decisions? Yeah, the thing with source solutions is you usually see them for large enterprise organizations, but obviously for SMBs and smaller organizations, it's just as important. And that's why we have MSSPs who usually offer those source solutions. Really interesting. So I'm just going to click on a few of those areas. We had cyber fusion, web application firewalls. What comes up here? There's only this poll that comes up there. Security orchestration, automation, and response. So these three are related to it. Oh, 27001. Look at that. Obviously, ISO certification can help you here. And the NIST has great stuff, and CMMC to define your source solution. Let's have a look what's in here. Right now, only this one, unfortunately. So this gives you a great overview and insight of what needs to be in place to have an effective response process. With this, I would like to leave you for today. I trust you have had a good insight in source solutions, what you need to cover, what it actually is. For now, if you look down here at the blue and the white areas, security orchestration, automation response. You see the link in there. The link has the link to where the Kanban is, and you can play around with the Kanban. The whole Kanban's online, and if you want to purchase it for commercial purposes and reuse, it's there as well. Have fun, enjoy. Any questions, you know where to find me, and we'll talk again later.